training to prepare you, to get you ready for the messianic future when the hidden light will once again be completely revealed. So basically, what's Hanukkah? Hanukkah is training. Let's get ready for Mashiach, because soon Mashiach's going to come, and the Ohr HaGanuz is going to be revealed all the time. So you don't want to suddenly get hit by this Ohr HaGanuz and have no experience with it whatsoever. So Hanukkah is our 8-day-a-year training. Like National Guard, what do they do once a year? They have to go, well, how's it work?
Reserves.
Yeah, the reserves, what do they do? 1 week a year or something like that? We'll find out. Okay. So anyways, this Hanukkah is like the 8-day-a-year training to make sure that you have some practice, you have some practical experience with the Ohr HaGanuz. Kamesha Amr Razal, like the sages say in the Gemara in Chagiga, V'gonzel tzadikim lasid lave. Where's the Ohr HaGanuz now? Well, it was put away for the future, for the tzadikim in the future. What does it mean when Mashiach comes? K'dechsiv, like it says, La yilacha eid hashemesh la'oir yemam, u'lenega hayareach la'ya'ir lach, v'hoyalach Hashem la'oir eilam. That it says in the Navi in Yeshaya that it's not going to be sun and moon that are going to illuminate for you, but Hashem is going to illuminate for you. What does that mean? It means the Hashem's light that was hidden away, and we're going to all be able to see by that light. Malchus Revius. When is that going to happen? When we finish the current exile, which is the exile of the fourth kingdom, the kingdom of Rome. But when the third kingdom, which was Greece was the third kingdom, Rome was the fourth kingdom, Rome continues. So at the end of the third kingdom, Yavon, Greece, Hashem gave us a little peek, a little taste of that light. Why? He says to offset or to counterbalance the fact that when did Hanukkah take place? It took place in the post-prophetic era. Took place in the post-prophetic era, after the final Nevi'im, the last Navi in Nach, is Malachi, and Hanukkah's after. That's why Hanukkah's not in Nach. Purim is in Nach. It's in the time of Esther was a prophetess. Daniel is he's also a prophet. And the Gemara in Megillah speaks about how do we know that he was a prophet. But Hanukkah took place in the post-prophetic era. There was no more prophecy. So to counterbalance that, the fact that there was no more prophecy, Hashem said, you know what? I'll give them a little Ohr HaGanuz. I'll give them a little shine of that light. And that was the light that was shining on the menorah for those miraculous days. That light should stand instead for us of the nevuah that we lost. We'll have that as a replacement during our exile. We know that Adam Arishan, how did he use the Ohr HaGanuz? With the Ohr HaGanuz, you could see very clearly with the Ohr HaGanuz. Adam Arishan was able to stare from one side of the world to the other. He knew everything that was going on in the entire world. Does that mean physically, or does it mean a consciousness? Either way, what it means is that with this light, you can know everything in the world. So a prophet was able to know what's going on, was able to have vision to see what's going on. Then that stopped. You didn't have that. Okay, so we have a little bit, once a year, we have a taste of that light again. Okay, now, let's continue here. Al-Kei Nikra Ner Chanukah. That's why it's called Ner Chanukah. Ner Chinuch Ve'hergul La'oir Oilam V'Geula Ha'asida She'yizgala Ohr HaGanuz. It's called a Ner Chanukah. Call it a training candle, a practice candle, an educational candle. Ner Chanukah means a candle that is mechanech you, that trains you for getting used to having access to the light of redemption that's going to be revealed in the future. Nemar Bey Yihi Or, of which it says about this light, Yihi Or, on the first day of creation, let there be light. Zeu v'hoya l'cha havaya la'or olam. That's what it means. Hashem's going to be your light. Hainu Hashem havaya. It's talking about the name Yud Kei Vav Kei, Hashem's name. Meluav kanal b'gematria Yihi Or. That when you spell out, when you spell out the name Havaya, Yud Kei Vav Kei, but you spell each letter as a word. So you spell the letter Yud as Yud Vav Dalet, and you spell Hey. Well, there's different ways of spelling Hey. You can spell it Hey or Hey, Aleph or Hey Yud. That's how you get the different Miluyim, the different Shemos. But there's a way of writing out the Shem Havaya. You get the Gematria Yihi Or. V'nignas b'Torah. And where is that light? It was hidden in the Torah. V'hinei. Ner Chanukah chinuch v'hergul ha'oirahu. So Chanukah is to get us used to that light. V'alkein hu masugul l'Torah, and that's why Chanukah is a special time for learning Torah, because Torah is also a portal into that light. Alkein harogul b'ner zeh amru loshin harogul margul es atzmi la'oir ha'asid So somebody who gets himself used to that light, he's actually preparing himself. He's getting used to becoming accustomed to the light of Mashiach, and that's why he's going to have, like the Gemara in Shabbos says, he's going to have Bonim Talmidei Chachamim, because this oir, which is Hanukkah, which is also the oir that everyone's going to see when Mashiach comes, is also the oir of Torah. Explaining this mimer, I think, maybe not in this mimer, he explains the idea of Chacham Adif Min Navi, that maybe it's coming up. There's a few mimerim in this section who speak about similar concepts, but he says Chacham Adif. There's a concept Chacham Adif Min Navi, that a Chacham is greater than a Navi. So the Alter Rebbe speaks about it in Igeres Kodesh. He says, how come the Arizal says that Nevuos Moshe Rabbeinu was from Netzach and Hoid of Atzilus, but then the Arizal is writing about levels much higher than that, even levels higher than Atzilus itself, even levels pre-Hishtalshlus. So he says, because the difference between the Chacham and Nevuah, Chacham Adif Min Navi. A Navi sees something, it's shown to him. He can only see a certain. You can only take a certain level of revelation. Which is why, for instance, Hashem tells Moshe Rabbeinu, you can't see my face, you can only see my back, whatever that means metaphorically, but it means that when you're dealing with Nevuah, there's a certain capacity, and that's it, you can't surpass that. But Chacham Adif Min Navi, that with Torah you can see these things. So Torah, why is Torah this clarity, this ability to see, literally not just from one end, from one end of the physical world to the other, but all oilamites, to see all of Seder Shtalshlus and beyond, and above Seder Shtalshlus, because it's this special light, which is Adif Min Navi. It's greater than the light of Nevuah. The light of Torah is greater than the light of Nevuah.
Doesn't it work the sense like Chachma, like a comprehension is a lower level of perception of something than seeing it, so you could reach higher levels, but it's not the same amount of, you're not exposed to it to the same extent as seeing it, because it's more like hearing center type of exposure. When you're studying something, you can study it not because you're getting the same amount of exposure as you're seeing it, but since it's a lower level of exposure, you can expose to higher levels.
Meaning it's abstract, right? So that's what allows you to see it. Yeah, are you talking about what in the Igeres Kodesh? What the Alter Rebbe says?
It's not real when you're understanding something. Not that you're seeing it.
Right, because it's abstract. It's chokhmah. It's not your physical. The Navi's not physically seeing it either, but it's compared to physical sight. Where like if you see something too bright, it'll be too much for you. Right, precisely because he has ideas of mitzias now, so he's able to go much more. He's able to experience much more. But in Hochinami, it's related to this idea, but. That's what Torah is. Torah's not a picture book. I mean, maybe you learn I remember when I learned Treifus for Smicha, we had pictures of different organs and stuff. But Torah's not a picture book. It's concepts. I mean, primarily it's abstract concepts. But because it's abstraction, it's ideas. So you can understand things that are deeper than what you could look at or even visualize. It's the same concept there. Same idea. Rav Steinsaltz always said that somebody learns the Gemara and he thinks that it's talking about an ox or a donkey. He's the ox. Everything, even in Gemara when it's talking about an ox, it's not talking about oxen, it's talking about legal principles, which are ideas, which are abstractions. So the fact that you're learning abstraction, you're learning ideas, not things. Not like you're pointing at an object. Give me that piece of cake. The fact that these are ideas, so you are somewhat distanced from it, which I guess presumably that allows us to appreciate things that are beyond our normal ability to experience. But it's the same thing as saying Chacham Adif Min Navi, meaning that at the end of the day, who knows more about the world? The Talmud Chacham or the Navi? So who knows more about the world? Talmud Chacham. Okay, to say he didn't really see it, he only intellectually appreciated it. Okay, Enoch, but still, he's the one who's actually understanding more about the world. Okay, let's keep going here. Umasakor la'enai. Achrei royai b'divrei harav kodesh hanal kosav. Yeah, okay. Going back to the Rekeach. Tiknu lamed vav nedis keneged ashoyes shishimish oir arish canal. Right, we said that. He's repeating that idea that there were 36 hours of the oir ganas, or before it became ganas. Keneged lashon oir. So Rekeach says that in Torah the words oir, light, ma'orais, luminaries, ner, candle are mentioned in Torah 36 times. So 36 candles of Hanukkah are representative of that. This is where he says it. This is like what I wrote. That where is the hidden light hidden in Torah? Yeah, you want to figure out that math? Aleph or Aleph la Aleph. You can do the math. 5 times 36 is equal to 5 times oir. It's mentioned in the Torah on Yom Rishon, which is Aleph Lamed Hey.
Oh, yes.
You see how to do the math?
Well, 5 times 207 is 1,035.
5 times 207, oir is 207. So 5 times 207, 1,035. So 1,000 is represented by the Aleph,
Right.
and then the 237. No, I mean sorry, and then 35 is a Lamed Hey.
Right.
And so,
1,035.
and so you got the 1,035 Aleph Lamed Hey, and you get the 36. Then we're back to the Lamed Vav, which is the 36 hours that Adam had access to the light, which is the 36 candles that we light over the 8 days of Hanukkah. Yeah, everyone followed that? I got that for about 2 seconds. Right?
What's the significance of Hepam Meir?
Because in the first day of creation, it mentions Oyer 5 times. That's why that gets the number 5. So it mentions Oyer 5 times. So Oyer light is Aleph Vav Reish, which is 207. It's also Gematria of Raz, mystery, because the Baal Shem Tov said anyone who knows, who has the Oyer of Torah, he knows the mysteries of the world. So 207, let's do it again. 207, Oyer, 207, mentioned 5 times on the first day of creation. 5 times 207, 1,035. 1,000 is represented by the letter Aleph. 35 is Lamed Hey. So you have Aleph and Lamed Hey. You have Hev again, the Lamed Vav, the 36. And that's the 36 hours and the 36 candles. Excellent. Appreciate the counting. The same Oyer that's in the Torah is the same Oyer that is the Hanukkah Menorah, which is the same Oyer that the Eibishter let out at the end of Malchus Yavin during the time of the Hashmonai, which is the same Oyer that Adam Rishon had for 36 hours at the beginning of creation. It's all the same Oyer. Yeah. He also mentions the Seder Kos of Eicha Yirdev Echad Aleph. How can one person pursue 1,000? How can one pursue 1,000? That's not normal. Such numbers. So it says that's Eicha Yirdev Echad Aleph is representing that idea as well. Hinehem Eile Begematria Lamed Vav. Eile is also Aleph Lamed Hey is also Lamed Vav. V'hine Nignas B'Torah, and this light was hidden in the Torah. Ksheratza Yavanim Levatel Torah. So when the Greeks wanted to tear us away from Torah, and as we know, they were opposed not to the study of Torah as an academic discipline, but the Kedusha of Torah. They wanted to tear us away from the Kedusha of Torah. Asher ba oir haganus halazeh. What were they trying to do? They were trying to tear us away from the Torah, which gives us access to the hidden light. Hine Hashem Yisparach. So Hashem says, hey, you want to try to take us away from the Torah, which gives us access to light? I'm going to give you light. I'm going to shine the light, which was the Nas of the Menorah, the Shemin. Who oir Torah min ha'aris oir haganus, which is also synonymous with the oir of Torah, which they wanted to tear us away from. And that's why the words light and luminaries and candle are mentioned 36 times in Torah. And that's why we have 36 candles. Fortunate is the nation whose lot is such. Shekacha light. They have this. Light is the possessive pronoun. To him. Or fortunate is the nation to whom is such. So Lai, Lamed Vav, 36. Yeah.
You're saying it's the same era that's in Torah, so then what's the Malam Tanakh years, but it seems for Chacham Adif and Navi, you're talking about that the whole year we have the Knesset Saga.
We have to learn Torah all year.
It gives us in a sense of Riyah. So you can actually look at the Tanakh years.
Right, but exactly. Because the Menorah you could actually see. It's an actual light. So then you have the Mashal and the Nimshal. You have a physical embodiment of that light. I want to mention to everybody, by the way, the importance of Hanukkah Geld. Just mention something from the Lubavitcher Rebbe. He learns the Rambam Mishnah Torah says a little history, short little history about the Yavanim Pashtu Yadim B'Meinim Shel Yisrael. They set forth their hands against the wealth of the Jewish people. So the Rebbe asks, what's with the poetry? If they stole it, say Gonvil. Say they stole it. Say they vandalized it. Pashtu Yadim B'Meinim Shel Yisrael. They set forth their hand upon Jewish possessions. So the Rebbe says like this. We could probably explain it in a way similar to Timu Kol Hashmanim, that they defiled all of the oil. Why did the Greeks defile the oil? There was no strategic reason to do that. It was an ideological statement. They hated the idea that you could have spiritual qualities attributed to physical things. Like if you take Shem and Tahar and Shem and Tameh and you send them to a lab, I promise you'll never see the difference between them. They're physically identical. Now, talk about like kashrus, let's say. Okay, so that's food chemistry. There's like real physicality to that. You could tell the difference between something that has, milk and meat. You could, even if you couldn't see it, you send it to a lab. They can figure out Shem and Tameh. You put it under the microscope, you will never be able to say there's anything discernible about this that's different than the Shem and Tahar. So the Greeks hated that we attributed spiritual qualities to physical things. So when they came to the base of English, they made a statement. They said, we're going to be matameh the shemanim and leave it there and go ahead, use it just like that, just like that. Like when you cut your kid's sandwich and they cry, say, "Oh, you cut it funny. I don't want to eat it." No, you're gonna eat the sandwich just like that. Okay, so you're gonna use it just like that. And the Jew said, "No, actually, we're not going to use it like that because there is such a thing as tuma v'tara. And just because we're dealing with physical things doesn't mean that there's no sanctity and there's no spirituality. And to the contrary, everything has a nefesh and a guf and a chaymer and a tzura, and there is such a thing as shemen, which is tahir, and shemen, which is tameh. So." Al derech zeh, pashtu yadum b'memeinim shel Yisrael means the Greeks, just like with the oil, they didn't steal it, they didn't vandalize it, not in the conventional sense, like physically vandalize it. They said, here, we're going to be matameh the shemen and then leave it for you to use it in an impure state. Because there's no reason why it should be any problem. There's nothing wrong with using shemen tameh. So the same thing, pashtu yadum b'memeinim shel Yisrael, they reached out their hand, they set forth, they touched the Jewish wealth. We give it a Greek touch. In other words, they were matameh Jewish wealth. They didn't take it, they didn't confiscate it, they didn't vandalize it. They said, you keep it, but just promise me one thing, buy yourself something pretty. Don't try to sanctify this. This is money, it's just material, just keep it material. Go out and eat food and enjoy, like buy a car. But don't try to sanctify, please. You can't do that. There's no such thing. If it's physical, it's physical. That's it. And we said, no. If it's physical, it can also be spiritual. Okay, echad ba'aretz, right? We are the nation that brings echad, oneness of Hashem, into aretz, into physicality. In fact, that is the oneness of Hashem. That for Hashem, the spiritual and the material are both creations, and He wants to be present equally everywhere. So, how do we celebrate the fact that we sanctify the physicality and we insist that material things can and must be holy? By giving Hanukkah geld. When we give money to kids, we say, here, take this money. And we make that into a mitzvah. That's how we celebrate our freedom. We won. They tried to kill us. How's it go? They tried to kill us. What's the thing?
They fought us, we won, let's eat.
Yeah, exactly. How's it go?
They tried to kill us, we won, let's eat.
They tried to kill us.